can hear you.
Just a test. No session recording, just a test. Just wait for 4 more people. Start in 4 minutes.
Okay.
Count this or
Anybody been in here for the first time? Oh, cool. So I'm Gwen, I'm the owner, and Pericles Silva is going to be doing the talk today. Greenfare we've been around for 3.5 years. We started doing a program called the 21-Day Kickstart in December of 2015, and we've had almost 900 people go through that program now. So we do classes, and we actually get 2 meals a day for 21 days, and we've watched really dramatic health outcomes happen. I was from the IT business, so I don't have a medical background or food background, so this has been even a surprise to me sometimes how quickly the human body responds when you take things out of your diet. So similar to cigarette smoking, when you stop smoking, your lungs clear themselves out, black lungs turn pink. So the same way when you take things out of your diet that cause harm, animal products, salt, oil, and sugar, then your body goes through basically the same sort of metamorphosis where it cleans itself out. And so that's what we do with the Kickstart program. We do dinner and a movie. We have an Italian night that's coming up. If you haven't tried that, that's a lot of fun. And what Pericles, I'm going to introduce Pericles, is I ran into him, I guess it's been about 4 years, where I was getting ready to do a prototype on food, and this fellow David Savage said, if you're doing anything in the food business, you have to know Pericles. And I was like, Pericles is a Greek name for a Brazilian man, and he had been doing this for decades. He's got a degree in sports nutrition, and he's been working at Whole Foods for 5 years. He started and ran the Health Starts Here program that Whole Foods had in place for a number of years. They actually had their products branded with things that were healthy. And he did a lot of, years of cooking classes and nutrition classes at Whole Foods. So I was very fortunate that he agreed to join me on this journey with Greenfare, and we co-teach the classes. Our next class for the Kickstart is going to be September 10th. So if you have interest in signing up for that, we'd love to have you. It's a lot of fun, and it can be life-changing for people. So today, I think Pericles is going to talk about some of the aspects around people that have already made a diet change and they've hit sort of a weight loss plateau. And so he's going to talk a little bit how to accelerate that again. Please give a welcome to Pericles.
Well, before we start the class, I want to ask you who is already attend our program, the Kickstart Health. That's good. Excellent. So, weight loss in the beginning is always easy, and you reach after a couple weeks or a couple of days what we call the plateau. And the plateau is the main reason why people give up diets, why people are disappointed and go back to bad habits. And that's usually how it works. You start here, lose weight quickly, very motivated, avoid junk food, keep the lifestyle and you change your diet until you hit here. This could be 2 or 3 weeks until you or go down more or you go back to bad habits. Use the plateau is the point where you decide you're going to continue, lose weight and reach your goal, or you're going to give up. First thing to us to talk about the plateau is you really reach the plateau. What is the plateau? So in order to identify if you reach the plateau, first thing is eliminate all the causes to gain weight. So the first thing is, are you already educated a whole plant diet? It's not about vegan diet. It's not about just quit animal products. You really know the advantage to keep the whole plant diet. If you're not, I recommend the Kickstarter Health program. We have started another one in September 13. So, if you know, second question you have to ask yourself is, do you really apply that to you? Or you just know but don't apply every day? Third is, are you goal realistic? I have people who come to say, I hit the plateau. And you look at the person is perfect, healthy, doesn't have any chronic disease, and also the appearance is somebody who will have the BMI, would reflect the age and the age group, and also how active is the person. Number 4 is if any organic cause involve thyroid problems, hypophysis problems, or hormone problems. And that's when you ask those 3 questions here, the last source is this here. Then you have to talk to your doctor. So let's attack the plateau. If you reach there, if you did everything you can, and you still have a 1, 2, 3, 4 pounds you want to share. Everybody know this guy here?
Yes. Sure.
Who is? So, investigation, right? You're going to do a Sherlock Holmes job here in 3 areas of your lifestyle. One is the food content. The second is your food relationship. And the last is the food environment. In the food content, you're going to use a tool invented by a doctor from Pennsylvania State, Dr. Barbara Rose. But before you understand that, this is where the calories coming. 100% coming from food. You don't get calories just be close to somebody else. You don't breathe the have by the air. It's not hydration. The only way to have calories is when you eat. In the other hand, to calories come out, in the end is a math. If you eat more calories, you gain weight. If you eat less calories, you lose weight. Calories in, calories out. So if it's the only way to have calories is eating, 3 ways you can burn the calories. One is natural, without doing any effort, is our metabolic rate. That's when you're sleeping, you're walking, you're just studying or working, just be alive, you burn. And that's the majority of calories, between 60 and 80 calories you burn in our metabolic rate. The second is digesting the food. It's about 10%. And that's very important because I can tell 90% people who come in and say, I'm the plateau, and I ask the food journal, they have smoothies there. The smoothies minimize this number here. It's almost no effort to digest. The third is physical activity, responsible for 10 to 30%, depending how active you are, of the calories you're going to spend. This class is supposed to be interactive. If you have any questions, please don't be afraid to do it. 1 pound. When you lose 1 pound, that's means 3,500 calories. This is the energy you storage in extra in order to reach 1 extra pound of weight. So let's attack the food content and what? The food content. Let's use Barbara Rose's system. Is the easy way to us to evaluate if something gonna make us gain weight or lose weight. If you already attend the Kickstarter, you're gonna remember those slides. You use this in the second class and call calorie density. This is key to lose weight. Is always when you check what you're gonna put in your mouth, if this is present, water and fiber. Water and fiber are responsible to build the bulk, which brings satiation, bring you to food. More water and more fiber in your plate, less calories, more satiation. It's inverse relation in terms of gain weight. So more bulk, less calories, more you lose weight. This is a couple examples here. For example, broccoli. 1 pound have 150 calories. So the calorie density is middle 100s. Pineapple, 227 calories for 1 pound. Brown rice, 500. Beans in the 600s. Animal products in at least 1200s. Bread, could be whole wheat bread, white bread, could be the bread from Ezekiel, coming directly from organics, flax seeds, chia seeds, all the healthy grains there, still more than 600 calories per pound. Processed food.
Isn't a pound of bread like a whole loaf of bread?
Depend the loaf, yes, could be a whole loaf of bread. Yeah, but the key is, it's a good question. I'm not going to eat the whole bread, right?
Yeah.
If your plate consists in more than 600 calories per pound, you gain weight. So one slice of bread and a lot of salad there, then you have to avoid the beans, the rice in the plate, and you're not going to bring satiation. Nuts in the 2500. Oils, almost 4,000 calories per pound. And when you come into the fats, the oils, remember, our body is designed to be very stimuli efficient. You're not going to lose weight. If you have in our plate, you're not going to lose time in storage that sugar as fat, because you need energy all the time. It's easy to convert this sugar in energy instantly, and storage the oil because it's already fat in fat. In order to digest the fat, it transfer in energy is a long process. Your body going to avoid it. You're going to first use the sugar. Second, if you run out of the sugar, then you're going to use the oil. So when you add oil in your salad and your food, take about 15 to 30 minutes to be storage as a fat. And I love this statement here from Dr. McDougall. It's true. Everybody can hear? Yeah? Yeah? And everybody believes the sugar, right? So you talk about 600 calories maximum per pound. And all the vegetables, beans, rice, every single plant except the nuts and avocados and coconuts, they are under the 600. This is the World Cancer Research Fund. It's a website where they, every 5 years, they update the advice to avoid cancer. Prevent cancer or survive with cancer. And what they discover is the link between obesity and cancer. Doesn't matter what kind of cancer, all cancers are linked to obesity. And it's information for many countries. They just use the database. And in the end, in 2007, they give this advice here. People who keep the weight, health weight, without effort, consume about 567 calories per pound. This is around the world. So this is our goal. The dietitian Jeff Novak, one of my gurus in nutrition, he developed this graphic way before 1998. And here, you don't have to memorize all the per pound in every single ingredient in your plate. You just divide in groups. So vegetables, all are in the hundreds. Fruits, all in the 300s. Processed carbs in the 500s. Beans and lentils in the 600s. Animal products in thousands. 1,000 calories per pound. Processed carbs, that's pasta, that's the bread, the pasta before cook, the oats before cooking. When you cook the pasta, when you cook the oats, come back here to unprocessed carbs because you restore the water.
What are the unprocessed carbs?
Unprocessed carbs are brown rice, are sweet potatoes, potatoes, so they're all unprocessed carbs. Oats, barley, all the grains. Junk food in the 2300s, 2400s. Nuts and seeds, close to 3,000. And the oils in the 4,000s. What Barbara Rhodes covered, or in the studies she did at Penn State, is every time you go to this direction, you eat more calories than you do before, you look for more and more calories. Every time you eat in this direction, you eat less calories. So when you reach the plateau, part is becoming very confident. You know how to lose weight. You make the diet, you feel like, I have control now my weight. And most of people who fail and continue to lose weight is because that day, the only cheating day, you're gonna go to over 2,000 or 1,000. That little cake to celebrate a big run, a big event, a birthday, that's when things start to go downhill. So in the food part, in the food content, that's the 10 points checklist. I don't lose weight. So is the food? If it's the food, do I do 100% animal products free? Do I add oils? You don't have to add oils to gain weight. Somebody else can add for you, so you have to check the package. When you buy a product, if you have oils there. Add sugars. Sugar is very important for us. It's our main source of energy for our brain. But there is the sugar present natural in the food, not add. Minimal or no add salt. Salt also is important, sodium is important. It's present already in all plants. When you add salt, you increase your appetite. So if you go with lose weight, even if you have low blood pressure, even if it's a little bit salt you add in food, if you reduce or eliminate salt, you're gonna eat less. It's not by coincidence. All the restaurants put a lot of salt in the food. It's to promote addiction and make you eat more.
Is that a brain chemistry thing? Is that a brain chemistry?
Yes, it is. It is. This is a DNA program for that. I don't know what religion you guys believe, or no religion and just evolution. Whatever who created us to try to put our species very close to the water. So you are trapped by salt. To don't just pretend, okay, I don't like to live here, I'm gonna go walking away from the water. And you're gonna die without water. So our DNA, they are designed to look for salt, because salt is close to the water. It's a survival program. No flour, include whole wheat breads if you really want to lose weight, or if you hit the plateau. If you hit your goal, it's okay to have bread or have any dessert with, of course, without sugar, oils. Yep.
What about cassava flour?
Cassava is great, but not the cassava flour. The flour is processed. Extract the water, extract the fiber. eliminate dry fruits, and I see this mistake many times in breakfasts. People go, okay, I'm going to have my oatmeal, and they sprinkle raisins and dates and all the dry fruits. It's extremely healthy, great. But when you add dry fruits, calorie density go up. I talked about smoothies before, no juices, no beverage, and alcohol. I have a friend who run Saturday morning, and have a group of friends who run together, 5K. In the end, they finalized the run with beer. Can you imagine how many calories you burn in 5K? It's less than 300. From fat, is less than 80, because first you burn the glycogen and sugars there. You replace more in one glass of beer. I'm not going to mention names. Nuts and seeds. Flax seeds, chia seeds are great. If you want to lose weight, eliminate the nuts and keep just the seeds. The sequencing of your meals also is very important. That means snacks. Every time you snack, you promote more the eating in your brain. I want to eat more and more and more. You space more your meals. And go to a stage of fasting during the day. I love this concept of 50-50 plate. That was created by Jeff Novak too. And that means 50% of your plate is salad, greens, or raw, and other 50 or vegetables, and other 50% is beans and rice. So grains and beans or lentils. Questions?
When you say sequence your meals, does that just mean no snacks between meals? You just
Exactly.
eat at mealtime?
Exactly.
That's breakfast, lunch, dinner?
Yeah, the sequence is very important, because more often you have snacks. First, every snack can with calories, but your appetite for the next meal will increase.
How does that impact the 3 meals a day if you work out 4 or 5 times a week?
Workouts and meals is the question here. Is still the same thing. You need, if you want to lose weight, you don't want to increase the amount of calories when you work out. When you hit a plateau, you have to continue workout and just say is met. So when you start to feel, oh, I'm okay now, then you can increase the calories if you need. Athlete, for example, ultramarathon, and he spends 6,000-7,000 calories per day. Of course, you have to eat more, but he don't want to lose weight.
Right.
He's there already.
Okay.
Bars. That's question also bringing the bars, the sport bars, the protein bars, and I'm the member of Lifetime Fitness at the locker room almost every day, and I can have friends there, or people who I know who work out upstairs, come downstairs in the locker room. After they work out, they burn, and that's how I calculate 200, 300 calories. They open up protein bar and eat about 800 calories. It's a waste of time in the morning. So the relationship with the food is why, when, and how much. That's coming to also the snacks. How we eat is important as what you eat. Eating mindful is key. Take time and enjoy what you eat. This is a statement from Dr. D. Hornish, the author of Undo It. And that's reflect a lot in our society. You don't have a time to eat. When you put the food in your mouth without paying attention, that doesn't work very well to weight control and disable our ability to feel full. I cannot lose weight anymore, and I do the interview. So I ask my clients, why you eat? And they say, I frequently eat when I'm stressed and anxious. When I'm bored. So you have to ask yourself, when you're looking for food? When? So they can even tell when or how many, they just don't pay attention. work with a paper and write every time you put something in your mouth, help you. Gonna help you to realize how many times you put calories in your mouth without needing it. This is the answer that I receive more here. Is I usually eat in front of computer while driving. So when you do this, our stretch receptors in your stomach were designed to bring the sensation of food and make you feel like I don't need to eat anymore, are disabled. It's not by coincidence. People who watch sport games and sports bars and they drink and eat, when the game is finished, everybody look at each other and say, oh, I ate too much. Yes, you eat too much because you're distracted. You don't pay attention to the signs your brain receives from the stomach is, I'm full. The time when you eat also is important. This is a graph will show the melatonin levels during the day. So when it's related to the light. So around 6 a.m., depending, of course, the time of the year, when the sun starts to come, you produce more melatonin. I'm sorry, less melatonin. And it's almost no production until the end of the day. When it's dark, we start to produce melatonin. That's the time here in the low melatonin levels where you're supposed to eat. It's about 2 or 3 hours between your stomach is start digestion and end, and start the production of melatonin. If you push your last meal to close to 4 here in the winter and 6 in the summer, that's ideal. I know it's not possible all the time, but early you start and early you finish your meals are key to storage fat, to rebuild and your immune system work better.
Are you saying it's preferable to eat at 6 p.m. in the summer rather than 4 p.m.?
Yeah. Because you don't have to, the question is 6 or 4 during the summer,
Yeah.
because the light. You don't have to stop eating 4 o'clock in the summer because you have a light until 8 o'clock.
But if you do stop at 4, it's not going to hurt
No,
you.
that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. And about the snacks, remember the question about the snacks? This is the graphical show, it's a study made in 2017, and this is how affect the gain weight, the amount of snacks you have. And this study was designed to help people with diabetes in the beginning, but can apply to anybody. So more often you eat, gain weight or lose weight is decided on how many times you eat per day. It's total against what recommendations in the 80s. In the 80s, the dietitians recommend more snacks, your metabolism go up and lose weight.
Right.
Remember that?
Right.
So this is...
Even now, not just the 80s.
Some people still recommend that, but it's not applying anymore. So another answer when I ask people how much they eat per meal is very frequent. This answer too. I frequently eat until I'm stuffed and have to unbutton my pants. And that's pretty normal. When you do a 101 and the client is very honest, they don't pretend, they tell you because they need help, they know they need help. So how are we going to improve that relationship with food? How are we going to change that behavior? This is the answer you have to have in your mind all the time. This is the goal. Can you do a little game here? You guys eat this loud? The answer? Can you guys eat?
Yeah.
Can you read it? Okay. Let's,
I will
1, 2, 3.
I will eat primarily to nourish my body and promote my overall health. I will avoid eating out of boredom, stress, anxiety, anger, frustration, or sadness.
It's great. Just apply now. So when? So in general, 3 meals a day. No snacks between or after meals, and just when you're truly hungry. If you come in, for example, I say 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're hungry at 3:30 or 3 o'clock, you feel really hungry, eat. If you're not hungry, even if it's 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, it's okay to skip a meal. You're not going to starve to death if you have 1 meal or 2 per day. Eat slowly. Think about what you're eating. Avoid computers, avoid TVs, and conversation is great. When you talk with somebody, you pace our eating. Try to don't eat and talk at the same time. It's a good exercise. Be polite. First eat, then talk. It's not just be polite. That means also give time to your brain receive the message from the stomach, I'm full. Eat until you feel comfortable. And the Japanese in the blue zones, they have the hara hachibu. The hara hachibu is a Japanese expression to eat until you're 80% full. You never eat until you're completely full, 80%. Because when you reach 80%, that means you're going to give time to your brain, receive the message, in about 30 minutes you feel full. And that's 20% of the calories there, right there. Another one now is the food environment. Where I eat and who is my company when I eat.
Your company?
Everybody's familiar with these 2 plates here, the good effect. So many studies are made in size of plates. And if you have a big plate and go to the buffet, you're going to serve more food. You're going to finalize eating that amount of food, even if you're not hungry after half the plate. So put these small plates on the table. Make your brain believe you eat more than you really ate. Those are examples. Same amount of calories, just the plate is different. And also have the Costco effect. The Costco effect is everything is big. If you have a child at home, you can use as a lab. You can buy a small, very unhealthy, but a small potato chips package and a big potato chip from Costco. You're gonna see 100% of the time the child is gonna eat the whole small and fine, go to play, or gonna eat the whole big bag and fine, go to play. You are doing the same thing. If you have a big bag, big portions, you're gonna end up eating everything. The Costco effect was a really a study in 2015 and proved you can change between 10 and 16% amount of calories, depending part of the United States, in just change this package size. So you have a willpower would help you in the beginning of the diet until you hit the plateau. After that, the willpower not going to help anymore. So you have to find a ways to keep your weight coming down without the willpower. The environment is very, very important. And if you clean up, after this class here, you go home and clean up all your environment, to remove all the junk food, put in the trash, Remember, the cookies you bought for somebody else or maybe a special occasion and is there, end up in your mouth if you don't put it in the trash. So clean up. That's great. But most of the time when they ask people to clean up, oops, that's what they have at home. That doesn't help either. Because that's an excuse to go to the junk food outside. So the goal is not a refrigerator, a home like that.
No.
The goal is this. If you have, for example, strawberries in your refrigerator, if you have apples or oranges, peel the oranges, cut and leave it there inside. Wash the strawberries, clean, leave it ready to go. If you have to have the work to do all the time, pick up the strawberry, clean up, wash, you're not gonna touch the strawberry. If you have to peel the orange, you're not gonna use that when you're hungry. It's easy to open a package and pick up some kind of healthy bar, for example, with small calories. Who gonna eat with you? Dr. Lee Hornish mentioned in the talk about 4 weeks ago in DC about if your friend, you have a friend who is obese, you have a 25% chance of being obese. If your friend of your friend is obese, you have 10% chance of being obese. So the relationship between you and the food change also when you relate to people who eat in different ways of you. It's a challenge in relationships, because if you announce in home, oh, I try to lose weight, some people are gonna try to help you, and most people are gonna sabotage. No, you're okay. You don't have to lose weight, and we're gonna try to push food you is not what you're looking for. It's a self-defense, sure, because they don't wanna be different. Both of you are overweight, for example, and one only lose weight, the other person feel less than you. So they try to keep you in the same weight. It's a self-protection. Apply very common co-works. If you announce, I'm doing a diet now, donuts start to appear on your table, they invite you to happy hours. And if you fail, I love this statement because it doesn't matter. If you fail one time, don't give up. Just continue doing. Make yourself more strong. Find a way to avoid or understand why you accept that cookie, why you accept to go to have the ice cream. Understand the weakness is the key. During the class here in Kickstarter, you play with the salads and you put different salad dressings. In the end, we identify what is the weakness. If it's salt, if it's sugar, if it's fat. When you understand the weakness, you're more strong. You're able to resist. This is another statement from Dr. Lee Hornish. This is not just about living longer, it's about feeling better and improving quality of life. Well, thank you, and open to questions now.
You mentioned the other day that of all the nuts, that walnuts are acceptable.
When we talk about nuts, the question is walnuts is the best, right? If you have to use nuts, because the omega-3, omega-6 ratio. But even walnuts also is high in fat. So if you hit the plateau, if you want to lose weight, avoid also the walnuts. It's great to have omega-3s, but you can have flax seeds, chia seeds are less. Yes, it's less chance you snack flax seeds, chia seeds than walnuts. Another very unusual to overeating flax seeds, for example.
Yeah.
You talked about the Costco effect. That's going to be hard unless there's a way for people to change the industry, because they make, I hardly ever see little like
For example, I like low sodium and fat little popcorn that was in little bags by Whole Foods. Well, they're discontinuing. The only way to get it now is in the big bag, which is hard for portioning. I loved it that, it was 35 calories and I had one little bag in my car if I ever got hungry on the way. But I think the way Costco is, they make it cheaper and you pay more if you want to try to have less.
Yes, it's true. That's the food industry. In food, is for profit. Everything is about volume. So quantity is not profitable if you do small, or you have to charge much more. So the goal is always sell more. Suggestion?
I guess that's, is there a way to fight it?
Suggestion for you is buy Ziplocs
Oh, okay.
and divide in small portions.
That's what I do. I portion out everything.
Yeah, at the beginning you were talking about having a realistic goal, and you were saying that age plays into that.
Mhm.
So I wonder if you could explain that. How do you take your age and use that to adjust or to come to a realistic goal?
So, in order to evaluate how much you have to lose more, or if you get it in the high weight where you don't have to lose more, is a test to do. You have to see how much is your body fat, and that's you can do probably any gym here. You're able to do subcutaneous test and see how much you have fat storage there. But age affect because the metabolism come down. Remember, 60-80% of calories coming from our just metabolism. So 80% in a young person, 6% in the women age. Just changing for a plant-based diet, you're able to not reverse completely, but minimize the effects. Do I answer the question?
Yeah.
I was hospitalized back in March, and twice, as they did blood tests, I was found to be low in sodium. I'm not completely salt-free, and when you're making pasta, for instance, a lot of salt goes in the water for it to capture it, or you're boiling potatoes or whatever. So I find it hard. I don't really know when I'm eating enough salt, not eating enough salt. I may be low on sodium right now.
So the question is about low in sodium. You don't have to add salt in your food to have enough sodium. As much as you eat calories, between 1,000 and 1,500 calories per day, you're okay in sodium. Sodium is present in every single vegetable. Some diseases prevent us to absorb the calcium, and it's not related to dietary sodium low intake, but related to some disease. That's why some people is low in sodium. So that's a reason to check the doctors.
Is flax meal okay or just flaxseed?
I'm sorry?
Is flax meal okay or just
Flax meal. Flax meal is okay. The question is a flax meal or flax seeds. Flax meal, you absorb omega-3. Flax seeds, if you don't use the blender to grind before you eat, you're not absorbing omega-3. The whole flax seeds you're going to pasture. You don't absorb anything. It's good for fiber. It brings satiation, but not for absorption of nutrients.
What are we looking at? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Should you always avoid using a blender to mix things up like smoothies, things like that? Is it always better to not do that?
For smoothies, right? The blender I use for salad dressings, for when I have to do a sauce or flax seeds, if I'm gonna grind to absorb better, but smoothies. Remember the bulk, fiber, and water? Water is present and fiber is present also in the smoothie. But the smoothie, the blenders break down the fiber. So spike the absorption, which is not great because in a few minutes you have again, you absorb all those nutrients, all the sugar in one shot. Your insulin levels go up because it's too much sugar in blood. Pancreas pump insulin, so insulin go up. As soon go up, the sugar is stored as a fat. That's alarm for your body. It's too much sugar here. So a lot of insulin come, is stored as a fat. Even if you do just greens, just kale, smoothie with, I don't think anybody can taste this and say, oh, it's great. Everybody has banana or strawberries. It's better to eat the fruit. It's much better. That the social nutrients start in your mouth. You don't born with a blender in your mouth.
Why is whole wheat bread not okay to eat, but whole wheat pasta is?
That's a good question. Why whole wheat bread is not okay and why whole wheat pasta is okay? Whole wheat bread, what is not there in the bulk? Water. Whole wheat pasta, before you cook, is no water. After you cook, the water is absorbed. So you build the bulk again when you add the water and cook the pasta. Now, my daughter, she's 9 years old. When she was 3 or 4, she have, and I never talked to her about that. And she was pick up the bread and dump in the soup and eating. It's a way to increase the bulk too.
I like what you said about the food environment being important in terms of losing weight. Because I see so often in my family and with friends, they're sabotaged by the people around them who really don't want them to lose the weight or don't want to be pulled into the discipline that they're imposing on themselves.
I'm not a psychologist, but I work with a great psychologist in my career, and he explained to me how this works in our mind, why people sabotage. It's not because they don't love you. It's not because they want you to be sick. But if you go to war, and in the war you lose a leg, you come back to the society, everybody has 2 legs. You feel less than the others. You don't want your friends and family lose a leg too, but internal in your mind, you're still thinking, if everybody have 1 leg, it's be better for me. It's very selfish. So when people, they don't want you to be sick or overweight, but they feel, I cannot do this. He can do it. If he can do it, he's better than me. And this is a challenge. Helping and others without force, I think is the best to improve the environment. Invite them to come to events like that, or give the forks over knives cup. I think it is the best way than just pretend to force people to do or pretend they are not there, because you don't want to also develop a bad relationship with family or friends.
Is lentil pasta better than like wheat pasta?
Lentil pasta is better than whole wheat pasta. First, because you eat this for 1,000 years. Lentil pasta is a variation we just developed by the food industry. Is high processed. Of course, have more protein. Of course, some people with celiac disease problem is better, but just for people with celiac disease. If you eat the lentils, you have the ability, the opportunity to have lentils, eat the lentils. You don't have to eat a lentil pasta. Maybe a pasta with lentils would be great, but less processed possible. Well, the kitchen is open. The $10 you guys pay for this class, you can apply for anything you are there. And I'll be here if you have more questions. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much.